Hi Tash, welcome to an episode of Science Day.
Hello.
Today we are talking all about worms, which is why I have specially asked you onto the show.
Yeah, I like worms.
Can you do like a short introduction of yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Tashfia. I am a curator at the Natural History Museum. I just became one of the newest curators this year. I'm actually in charge of the Cnidaria, Echinoderm and worm collections, and my personal interest is more towards marine polychaetes, which are a group of annelids that are segmented worms. This is my favorite part of the museum gallery, and I like to come here and usually I tend to just look at the worms because it's one of the fewer areas in the museum that actually has worm specimens. In general, I just like the diversity here on this wall. Worm in general is not used as a scientific term. It did used to be a biological taxon last time, I think during Carl Linnaeus' time. But now it's an obsolete taxon, and the word worm is just used to refer to various groups of animals that resemble like a worm-like form. So these would include phylum, for example, Annelida, which are segmented worms. These would include the leeches, polychaetes, and earthworms, and then there's the group Platyhelminths, which are flatworms. So you have, for example, marine flatworms here, polychaetes, and you have terrestrial flatworms here. For example, the hammerhead flatworm. And then we also have various nematodes and other kinds of worms that are like parasitic and a lot tinier. Some of them are free-living as well, meaning they do not need to depend on a host to survive.
You mentioned something about phyla. What is phyla?
So it's basically how life is, the classification of life. There is a popular mnemonic that you can use to remember the classification and the taxonomic ranking. So it said King Philip. I think there are two variations. One is King Philip calls out for good soup, or came over for good soup. So this corresponds to, from top down, there's kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and then species. Annelida is an example of a phylum, and then fanworm is the common term, the common name that we give it. Sabellidae is the family for this group. As long as there's the DAE, day at the back, that means it's a family name. When you refer to a specific species, you refer to it using both the genus and the species name. So for example, here you can see this has not been identified. So it's just Sabellastatae sp. This is Eunice, also called the giant reef worm. This specimen is a very good way to sort of show you what polychaete generally looks like. So you can see here it's split very well into, there is the front part, which is the head over here, and the head has the antennae and palps, and the rest of the body, the main part, which are clearly segmented, and each segment has a pair of what you call legs at the side. I say legs because these are not true legs, they're actually parapodia with chaetae. Chaetae are the tiny, they look like hairs, I guess, and which is why it's called a polychaete, because they have chaetae. Yeah.
So when I go on field work with you, there are so many worms, like under rocks.
Yeah.
And they look so like anonymous,
Like you don't know what they are.
You don't know what they are, and it's like in masses.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what is the importance of continually discovering more species and naming each and every worm that you see.
I think this is more related to the overall question of, why do we study taxonomy? Why do we describe new species? Which is, I think it's been said many times that if we can name species, then we can conserve them. We can conserve what we know. And we know what is the role of this species in the ecosystem, in that particular habitat.
So Tash, I have one last question to ask you.
Yes.
Will you still love me even if I were a worm?
Of course, I would love you even more.
Worms over humans.
Okay, that's so much.